Hi there, listeners. We are bringing you a special episode during this unprecedented time because we wanted to check in with the culinary community in Portland, Oregon. When we recorded this emergency episode, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler was considering a shelter-in-place order. Meanwhile, Portland restaurant refrigerators were overstocked for Portland Dining Month, and restaurant workers were losing their jobs. We recorded on site at a small restaurant in Southeast Portland. I must say, I have never been so moved by a four-top conversation. So with that, here's the show. Hello and welcome to episode 74 of The Four Top. It's a roundtable discussion of today's hot button topics in food and beverage. I'm your host, Catherine Cole. We are interrupting our regularly scheduled programming to bring you a special episode today in which we hear from three members of the food industry about how coronavirus is affecting their businesses. The situation is very volatile as we record this, and things may have changed by the time this episode goes live. So let's meet our panelists. Vitaly Paley is an executive chef and restaurateur whose Paley Hospitality Group includes 5 restaurants in the Portland area. Heather Kintler is chef and owner of Normandy, a Southeast Portland restaurant specializing in coastal cuisine, and it's where we are recording right now, so you may hear some background restaurant noises. Carrie Welch is co-owner of Little Green Pickle, a marketing company serving the food industry, and co-founder of Feast Portland, a national culinary event. Let's start just talking about the restaurant business and how everyone's holding up. Heather, you're running a fairly new restaurant, established less than a year and a half ago, I believe. How have you changed your business model over the last couple of weeks?
So we started talking about doing takeout. A lot of our stuff we're kind of tweaking a little bit to be more takeout, transportable, friendly, trying to get more of a comfort food edge to things that people want to eat in this situation, I guess. We pretty much just started taking out yesterday. We'll have to see how it goes. Mostly call-ins, people coming to pick it up.
And you specialize in seafood. Has it been difficult to get seafood or ensure that it stays fresh? Because you don't really know how many people are going to order takeout, right?
Yeah, we decided, I turned the seafood that we had left, into chowder. I made quiche, the crab. We obviously are not going to be ordering any more seafood. We'll probably just stick to proteins like chicken and, ground beef for the burgers, things that are less volatile. But we'll have to see how it goes. We're definitely not ordering any more seafood. I'm just running through what we have. And, we're just also unfortunate for our purveyor, that we use. We pretty much were ordering, a lot of food for Dining Month, and it just kind of came to a screeching halt. So I definitely feel for the people that we use for our provisions as well. So we just have to switch gears a little bit. Yeah.
Vitaly, you made the decision to close your restaurants. Why did you make that decision?
We decided mainly the biggest reason to close was because of public safety. We wanted to keep not just the public safe, but also the employees safe. We are inherently a place where people gather, and so to be able to just stop the curve, stop the spread, shut it down, play the part, so that we can come back. That's the intention. The sooner we do it, the sooner we can all get over it.
And how are you faring financially? Have you had to lay anyone off?
This is probably one of the toughest things we had to do. We laid off approximately 200 employees over the past 3 days, 4 days. My head is spinning. I usually am a very hands-on person, and I wish I could have done it really myself with a group of people. I did with key individuals as well, and they helped me do the rest. At Paley's Place, we had a special talk with our employees as best as we could. They all understood. Our key management team is still with us at the moment, and it's heartwarming to hear from them as to their offers to help in any way they can. And to be able to say that Paley's Place is in its 25th year of business this year, and I'm certain this is not the way it's going to go out. So I am so happy, and it's warming to me to see the reaction of individuals that worked for us for years. Luis has been with us for 23 years as our chef. Mitch and Stan and all those guys. It's just pretty impeccable. And then, of course, the other bigger restaurants downtown. Imperial and the Crown has been 8 years in operation, and was doing, was cranking along. I just think it's a bit of a reality check for us all. With overabundance of construction around us and homeless issues and all kinds of other things that are we're really just concentrated on a daily basis. I think it's a reality check for us to stop and really reassess just about every aspect of our lives.
Carrie, you work with many small restaurants through Little Green Pickle, and you said you've been crying on and off all week. I'm so sorry. What are your clients telling you?
All of the same things that you've heard from Heather and Vitaly. From where I sit, I own a PR company, as you said, that serves the food industry, and that's very much how I feel right now. I feel that I am in service to the leadership and the bravery that the chefs are showing every day, because they're on the front lines of whatever this strange war is that we are fighting. Our industry has been decimated, but through that kind of horrible, the week that we've had, I've seen such bright spots of leadership and of kindness and generosity, chefs turning around and with no money, because that's the thing, is that when the money doesn't come in, there's only money that goes out, and we can all do the math as to what that means. But then chefs are turning their restaurants into kitchens to feed their staff and the community, and there's just this incredible generosity that is limitless in this industry, and that's the part that I almost can't get over, because then it's like what Vitaly was saying about his management team. So you have to lay them off, but then they offer to work for free, and then they help you in ways that you didn't even anticipate, and that's happening throughout our entire industry, which is really what's keeping us going right now, at least from where I sit. I also own an events company, so you can imagine where that stands. But I think that what Feast also is doing now is there's a few things, trying to be a voice for the community. That's easy. Social media makes that kind of like infinitely easy and also powerful. And what we're working on right now is how do we respond to the needs of the industry and pivot that into something positive. That's, again, the only way to get through this, it seems, is to say, Heather, what are you working on? Vitaly, what's your perspective? And in a few weeks or a month or whenever it feels right, kind of gather that together into some kind of way that feels like we might have something to look forward to. But we're not sure exactly what that is right now.
And Carrie, you mentioned Feast. You helped organize Taste Washington, which was supposed to be happening right now. And you're not in Washington right now, you're here. So can you tell us a little bit about the process of deciding to call that off and what that entailed?
We were producing Taste Washington on behalf of Visit Seattle, which is the tourism board up in Washington State, and also the Washington Wine Commission. And that almost seems like a different life ago, because that was almost 3 weeks ago when we were talking about COVID being really active in Seattle. And it's kind of when we were all down here being like, oh, well, we'll just work around it. We'll find another way. It's not going to hit us the same way. And so that was almost like an alternate reality where we were working with we were hearing from government officials, we were hearing from the tourism groups, kind of what they knew about the virus and what they wanted to do. And we actually, it took us a while in today's terms, when you're making decisions every 5 minutes you're making decisions today that were unfathomable a week ago. And back then we had time. Like we had a whole week to decide whether we were going to cancel that. So it almost seems strange. It just seems like we were so simple back then, and we didn't understand what was coming. But we wanted to make a responsible decision with our partners, so we did cancel it, because the way that COVID was spreading through Seattle at that time, they were kind of like it feels like they were the place where it hit first. So it's the same thing that you're seeing now. No one wanted to come, and rightly so. It wasn't safe. So that's why we canceled that festival. And subsequently, I think we were the second or third, and then everything kind of went after that. So it was certainly the right call.
And is Feast Portland now kind of in a holding pattern, just kind of day by day? How are you approaching that?
Day by day, and we have this 10 a.m. Check-in with our team right now, and we had to lay people off too. That's why I started crying, because it's, you look at your team every day, and you build this team, and you work really hard, and that's an understatement for everyone at this table. And then when you know in your heart that the only way to preserve your business is to let them go, and then you have to tell them that, and you have to put them on the unemployment line just like everybody else, that's a day of reckoning that I hope nobody has to face again, because that, for me, was just understanding how serious this was, affecting the livelihood of our teams. And I feel that with our kind of the foursome that we're back with now on Feast, it's Mike Thielen, Emily Crowley, Janny Huang, and I again. That's the team we started with. So we're going to, just like Vitaly said, we're not going out like this. And we're going to figure out a way to do something. Because one thing that I think that Feast could provide is hope and something to look forward to. And Mike even said to me the other day, if we're just doing a picnic and drinking beers with the chefs, that sounds great right now. So we're going to find out how to respond and how to support, and hopefully that'll become clearer over the next couple of weeks. Weeks to me seem like years. I don't know where we're going to end up tomorrow, but I feel like we've battened down our hatches just like everyone else in the industry has in order to survive, and that's what we plan to do for both of my businesses.
Vitaly, thinking about Taste Washington, which is the largest single region wine event in the nation, and Feast, which is a huge food event, I realize how much of our industry here is reliant on big events that draw lots of people. And you have restaurants that are in hotels, which I assume are empty right now. So have you been kind of thinking about travel and events and how those affect the culinary industry?
Catherine, you're absolutely right. Our downtown restaurants, not just because they're in the hotel, but they're in hotels, but they're in hotel zones. There are 1,000 rooms around us, maybe more, within a stone's throw. And so as those rooms empty out and offices are empty because the kids are at home, we essentially, our lunch business went to nothing, our breakfast business went to nothing, literally overnight. And as the hotels are planning to consolidate, maybe even shut down, it makes no sense whatsoever to us for us to offer anything in a way of business, even if it's a takeout. So honestly, there is a silver lining out there of some sort, and I think there has to be. Human nature is to be able to say to ourselves, what can we do to help? How can we help? And I think first thing you can do is help yourself. Take the necessary time to mentally stabilize yourself, stay healthy, go for a walk, spend some time with your family, even if it is on FaceTime. But I think the difficulty is there. All of us are still kind of frantically trying to close our restaurants down, even though there are no people there. We want to make sure that the food doesn't go to waste. So all our employees are scheduled at increments of time to come pick up a brown bag of goodies that they can take home, whatever's left over. If there's something they could use through the next several weeks, that door is open. Shopping is free at Imperial, Headwaters, and Bailey's Place for all our employees. Even though they are on unemployment at the moment, they're still our family. So these are very interesting times. I think we as human beings, rely on one another. And I think this could potentially be our finest moment.
Heather, how are you coping right now and keeping your restaurant at least partially open?
What we're trying to do, you can call in and do an order. We're willing to deliver, for certain areas. But just call in and just trying to make it work. We still have a lot of product, and we're kind of, we've been very supported by a lot of regulars, and yesterday we had 3 orders and they were all regulars, that want to support us, and we're so young, and we're just trying to hold on to the business, trying to provide some comfort to people that still want to come and get some food. we're not downtown, we're not in a big hotel, so it's a little bit different than Paley's situation. And, you know, I don't know how it's going to go, but this is what we're trying for now, and hopefully people will want to have us cook for them, because that's the only thing I know how to do. You know, it's just try to make people happy with food. That's the only thing I know how to do. So.
It's interesting because it used to be, I feel like I'm saying used to be, like 2 weeks ago, that we had this thriving culinary tourism industry. People would come to Portland from all over the world, and they would want to try the newest restaurant just to feel the atmosphere, the decor. But now it really is just about the food, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about comfort. It's about you know, unfortunately, like it is, you know, food usually brings people together, and this is so painful for many of us in this industry because we have to distance ourselves from everybody. So we're just trying to adapt to still provide some food and comfort, some, you know, normalcy to the very unprecedented and abnormal situation. So we're just taking it day by day. Yeah.
I would say that we've been living in a mild state of anxiety for quite some time now. And so this is definitely quite a bit deeper than that. But because of that, we've really pivoted to be a little bit more thoughtful in how we approach what we serve in our restaurants. And Heather is absolutely right. Comfort. People don't want to be challenged by their food. They're challenged by every other aspect of their life. They need to come. Yeah, just exactly.
That's some quiche, you know.
I ordered fried chicken last night.
Yeah, you know, people want the, you know, all the gluten-free people are like, give me some carbs. You know, yeah, people want to be.
Yeah, I mean, what are you all clinging to in terms of hope for the industry? What's getting you at least feeling somewhat positive about the future?
I think it gives us an opportunity to reassess, rethink, spend a little bit of time with our key people, understand the things that we've done right, do them better, and the things that we have not done correctly, and just take them away for a minute. Maybe reopen with a renewed sense of creativity, ambition. There's no shortage of that. I've always said Portland has been, and still has that pioneering spirit. We don't have any staunch traditions or rituals to which we have to stick to. We get to make it up daily, and that's what makes the spirit so full and alive here in Portland. I think it's still there. I think it's going to continue to be there. I don't think there's going to be shortage of it. Yeah, I think there's going to be some fallout. I think some people aren't going to make it. I hope they do. I hope our government does something in return. I actually hope they invest in solutions rather than bailouts. Mm-hmm. Those solutions need to be a lot more robust and hardier. It's not just give us some money and hope for the best. It's got to be long-standing. Something needs to come out of this with our help, with our combined help.
I so agree. I think that there's all the advocacy that is happening on the government level right now, even from the chef organizations in Portland and major cities across the country, hiring of lobbyists to go to D.C. and advocate for you and make sure that you're in the relief bills at a bare minimum. I feel is just that's like almost a Band-Aid for what's happening right now, a Band-Aid for like what is not a Band-Aidable situation. And there's a moment where we could possibly address some of the industry challenges that have been faced for years. Minimum wage, all the things. I could list them, but they all seem so not possible to even address right now. But I feel that the industry is having a reckoning no matter what we do. So is there a moment to have a positive outcome where we can help fix some of it? I mean, obviously it would be a little Pollyanna to think we're going to fix everything coming out of this, but maybe there are some things that can be rebuilt the right way in an industry that needed to be rebuilt in some ways anyway, because it's not, the young cooks aren't supporting the way that they used to. Front of house isn't supported the way it used to be. Even my world in promotion is completely different than when I started 20 years ago. I started in the world of celebrity chefs, and it's really interesting now to be. I left the Food Network because I wanted to do actual work again. And I think I did that. I think I got that back. This feels like actual work, and I just think that that's people want to do high quality work that is creative and that they're proud of. And boy, I can't wait to get back to that.
Yeah, I think what you said hit it right on the nose. I think the increased awareness as to the razor-thin margins, even in the best of times that our operations have dealt with, bringing that to the public, to the forefront, understanding what it means to us to have them come back to us. I don't think buying a gift certificate or having a slice of pizza while we're closed is going to solve anything. The problem is bigger. Solution needs to be bigger.
Closing thoughts?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
What Vitaly said. Yeah, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly with everything that Carrie and Vitaly said, and I hope that some positive comes out of this, whatever that might be.
I think if there's any place on the planet that can do it, it's Portland, Oregon. Like Vitaly was saying, that this is the most creative city. We love all the other cities, especially right now, but this is the team where when we moved here in 2010, Vitaly was one of the first people that I met, and I had kind of stalked him from afar, and I knew of his successes in the restaurant industry here, and I was like, oh man, it'd be so cool if I could meet Vitaly Paley someday. And you and I'm looking at you now, have been through 9 years of everything. Feast wouldn't exist without you. Like when I look at you today, I know that in my heart. And I feel that that's the thing, though, is like I trust you, and I trust Heather, and I trust this whole community to bring it back, and to bring it back even better. Like I know we can do it, and I think we all have to believe that.
Thank you, Carrie. Warms my heart to hear that. Thank you. Same goes for me to you. Portland wouldn't be the same without you either.
Well, let's do it, okay? Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your taking the time. We were kind of risking it recording live here, and I was really glad we were able to have this conversation. Thank you, Vitaly Paley, executive chef and restaurateur, Paley Hospitality Group, Heather Kintler, chef and owner of Normandy, a Southeast Portland restaurant specializing in coastal cuisine, which is where we're recording right now, and they're offering window service, so check it out. Carrie Welch, co-owner of Little Green Pickle, a marketing company serving the food industry, and co-founder of Feast Portland, a national culinary event. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine.
Today's episode of The Four Top was recorded in the high-fiber, protein-packed city of Portland, Oregon, at Normandy, a restaurant in Southeast offering curbside meals. Izzy Kramer is our tireless producer. Keelan King is our editor, and he also composed and performed our theme music. Special thanks to the web staff at OPB who bring our show to life on the Oregon Public Broadcasting website. You can check out our dedicated website, thefourtop.org, to learn more about us, listen to back episodes, and donate to the show, and to reach out to us on social media. And if you've not already subscribed to The Four Top on iTunes, NPR One, or Spotify, please help us out and do so, and please leave us a rating. I'm your host, Catherine Cole, and I'm going to go order some curbside meals from restaurants right now. Bye-bye.